Welcome back to Rich Hatch Homes. Tommy.schorer here with
Rich Hatch.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about what is going on nationally in the market in terms of inventory and what we're seeing as far as are there enough houses nationally for all the people that are looking for them. Rich, just kind of give us a bird's eye view of what the big picture is telling us.
Yeah, thanks for asking these questions, Tom. You know, sometimes to understand even our local market, it's good to take a big picture and see what's going across our nation right now. About 2 years ago, Wall Street Journal came out with an article that said we are about 4 million units behind. And in that article, they talked about how on a good construction year, one where we are very robust in our construction, we can build about 1 million units. So that means 4 million units behind, 1 million units a year. We're at least 4 years from seeing the market really stabilize between a buyer and seller's market. So what's going on right now is that number has actually increased. It's now 4.5 million. So you have 4.5 million units that we are behind. That means there's a lot of people out there looking for homes that don't have them.
Yeah, Rich, you said several years ago we were 4 million behind. Now we're 4.5 million behind. If we knew several years ago that we were 4 million behind, why aren't we catching up? Why are we even further behind?
Yeah, so another thing that happened is, as you remember, we had this thing called COVID. And COVID, there was a lot of impacts that happened through COVID. A lot of people were buying bigger homes. They were deciding that they wanted office at home. We saw a lot of transactions happening in real estate. And if you remember a few years ago, this real estate market was really hot. Lots of people either moving up or moving down. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that there was, people were starting to build again. We saw construction going. But in all of that, we started to see these huge increases in prices. And in fact, construction costs went way up. 40% in fact, since COVID. With that 40% increase, what that means is if you were a builder who built a $500,000 home and we're gonna sell that $500,000 home just a few years ago, today that home would be about $700,000, and that would be for no extra profit for that builder. So you can see what an astronomical number that is. $700,000 is also much more expensive, not just because of the price increase, but also because of the interest rates that we have today.
Yeah, Rich, you talked about several years ago the market was super hot, and a lot of that was due to we saw record low interest rates. A lot of folks were refinancing and getting locked in at those low rates. So what's the impact of that today?
What we have there is what we would call the golden handcuffs. The golden handcuffs is, hey, I refinanced, I got maybe a mortgage at 2.5%, maybe 3%, maybe even 3.5%. All those are looking really good compared to the current, we're around 6.5% or so. You look at those interest rate differences and you are in a position where you feel like you are trapped, handcuffed into your mortgage and you cannot move. And so you have people who would normally move up and buy a bigger house that are not. You have people who would normally sell their house and maybe downsize who are not. And so people feel a little bit handcuffed because of the current interest rate environment. Now, obviously you still have people that need to buy and sell. People move, life changes happen. And so you still see some transactions going on, and the housing market is obviously hot as far as the people that need to sell are able to sell. But once you start getting in certain price ranges, that's where you're starting to see the impact.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about what's going on from a broad perspective nationally and things like that, but how's that impacting us in the eastern Iowa City area? Because sometimes we're a little different than what's going on nationally just because of the university and the environment that we have in our surrounding area. So talk to us a little bit about that.
You mentioned the University of Iowa. The University of Iowa is our largest employer here in the Iowa City area. The second one is the University Hospitals and Clinics. So you kind of live in this little bit of a bubble here, which means that a lot of job protection, a lot of state and federal money coming into the area. In fact, our seventh biggest employer, I believe, is the veterans hospital. And so because of these things, because you have all this money coming in and also all this growth happening, hospitals and clinics just opened up a new place, a new hospital, in fact, off of Forever Green there. What you're seeing is a tremendous amount of growth, job growth, a lot of people coming in. And so the market, I'd say really about that. And again, this is just currently, really about 425, 450 and under is pretty hot. We're seeing sellers list their homes. We're still seeing some multiple offers, maybe not as drastic as the escalation clauses and asking, people going above, but we're still seeing some of that. And then as you get higher up in prices, it starts to slow down a little bit because I think those interest rates are really impacting those buyers.
Thanks, Rich. Well, a lot of information today, what's going on nationally and locally. But if you have any specific questions about your situation or what you're looking at with your home, thinking of buying or selling or making a change, reach out to Rich, reach out to me. We can help you know what that looks like for your situation in your neighborhood, in your area, and give you some guidance as to what you may be able to do buying or selling and making a change in your life. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow Rich Hatch Homes on YouTube.